What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Davis, and I'm back with another video. But before I start this video, I'd like to say I just came from dinner, so I'm still a little numbed up. So if y'all see my mouth crazy, you know what I mean? It's because I'm numbed up. So we're gonna talk about my Asvab experience. So with me personally, it wasn't easy, and I wouldn't say it was extremely hard. It was just something I just had to put my foot down and study for, you know. So when I first took the Asvab, which was like, it was around like the end of September, I took the Asvab with the Navy recruiter. And then, I'm going to get into that because, I enlisted in the Army, but I'm going to get into that. So my experience with it, I took the Asvab with the Navy in about late September, like I said. So going into the Asvab, I didn't study. It was just, like, I didn't know what to expect. So I went into the test thinking, okay, it's just going to be easy, I'm just going to pass, get a great score, and that's going to be the end of it. So I went in there, took it, the MEP station here in Baltimore, took it. Thought I did well, felt like I did well. Came out the test, I went to the liaison, the Navy liaison. They told me I scored 17. They said you need to study. So I went with my recruiter, and he wasn't the type of recruiter, not to bash the Navy, but he just wasn't working with me, you know what I mean? Like, he just told me, you're just going to retake it in 30 days. That was like it, you know what I mean? So, I took the Asvab, like I said, scored a 17, but they wasn't pushing me, they wasn't motivating me. They didn't tell me what I need to study, so I didn't even know the areas I need to work on. And so with the recruiter, like I said, I'm not bashing anybody, but with the recruiter, like, we got back to the office. We was talking, like, how to improve the score or whatever. And then he didn't give me no practice test. He just told me, go home and study. And he told me the AFQT part, which was the arithmetic, reason, math knowledge, word knowledge, and paragraph comprehension. He just told me, just go home and study AFQT. But the problem was, what I came to a conclusion was, it wasn't my paragraph comprehension, it wasn't my word knowledge. It was my math knowledge I need to work on. So that was it, what I need to work on. But when I got with the Navy recruiter, after he told me that I obviously get 30 days to study and go retake. So it was about 2 weeks went by. He didn't text my phone. So, I was like, like, can I get a practice test? Like, like, do you have anything for me to, study so I can see where I'm at? Instead of taking practice tests online, because, obviously I was taking practice tests online, like AFQT, like practice tests, but, going up to the recruiter's office, taking the test so they could tell you your score, like, sit down with you, like that one-on-one. So, I text him, and then he didn't text me back. And then that's when I ended up calling the office. They said he moved to Jersey. That's what I'm saying. I'm here in Maryland, so he moved to Jersey. So I was like, yo, like, my recruiter just dissed me. So, what am I supposed to do? So, it was like 2 weeks out until I retook my test. So I was like, man, he left me hanging like 2 weeks before I was supposed to, retake my test, go out the mess to retake. So then that had me like, what I mean? Like, it was, then that's when I wasn't really feeling confident, because it was like, man, like, I've been studying, but I don't really know where I stand at with my scores, like, nothing for real. Because, I was going to go up to the office, and I was going to take the, I was going to take practice tests or whatever. Like, I was going to take their version of the test, because practice tests online, like, it's kind of similar to the recruiter's test, but, like, going into office, being under that testing environment is different from taking the test at home. Like, just being in the recruiter's office, taking it, like, feel like you're in a testing environment. So that's what I wanted to do. So, like I said, it was like 2 weeks out until I was going to retake my test, because, if you fail it at the MEPS, you got to wait 30 days if you fail it the first time, which I did. I scored a 17, like I said. So I took him. When they told me he was in Jersey, I instantly called the recruiter's office, got in contact with my Army recruiter, real cool recruiter, man. Shout out to Sergeant Howe. Like I told you, my gun is still swollen, so if my words come out crazy, that's why. But, shout out to Sergeant Howe, man. So, like, I contacted his phone, Army recruiter, real good guy. Contacted him, was like, man, like, I need to really, like, pass his ass up. Like, I need help getting into the military. So he was like, like, for sure, like, I'll help. So, like, he called me out to the office. He was like, we're going to get you set up on a practice test to see where you at. Like, we're just going to be working with you. And then I took a practice test, did fairly well. And then he broke it down. He was like, these are the areas you need to study on, focus on your math. I'm going to give you this material. I'm going to send you a link to your phone. And that's what you're going to do. Like, go home, take this. And then I'm going to bring you back in about 5 days to take another practice test, which was good for me because, you know, like I said, like for me, like, you know, going to recruiter's office, taking the practice test, like, I mean, you know, like instead of being at home where you're not really under any type of pressure, like taking the recruiter's office is totally different because you're like in a testing environment. So I went home, took it, did fairly well, like I said. Took the test at the recruiter's office, did fairly well. You know, was taking the practice test that he sent me. And then I went back up to MEPS, like after my 30 days was done. So I went from a 17 to a 26. So I was like, man, I still won't call if I was 5 points off. You know, you need a 31. I'm 5 points off, man. So, you know, I'm the type of person to where, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, like, let's say, like, I'm the type of person to where it's like, I wouldn't necessarily say that I beat myself up for, you know, not doing well, but it's like, man, like I really need to buckle down and really lock in with this. So they told me another 30 days. So I was like, okay. If I keep looking around, it's because I'm out here at the park or whatever, and people keep driving by. But they told me another 30 days. So I was like, man, this time I really got to really, really lock in. Because if I don't pass it the next time, I got to wait 6 months. So I was like, man, I'm not trying to do that. Even if I had to wait 6 months, like, I'm not giving up. Like, I'm not the type of person to give up at all. Like, if I want something, I'm going to go get it. Like, I just have that ambition, and that's just the type of person I am. I'm not going to give up. So they told me another 30 days. Went from a 17 to a 26. It was going to be my third time taking it in the next 30 days. So after I got that 26 on the Asvab there at MEPS, like I stayed at the hotel that night. Took in there my medical, went the next day, got my medical done. I'm gonna take and go into a whole nother video with, you know, like my MEPS medical experience. You know, it was the longest day of my life, I can say that for sure. So that video will be dropping soon. But as of right now, we're gonna focus on the Asvab and how to improve your score, and, you know, like my story time of how I took and had to overcome the Asvab. So, you know, like I feel like that these type of videos, like these one-on-one videos, like I feel like this is very like informational and very motivating because, you know, like I'm not the type of person that really, you know, really put my business out there, but, you know, I'm out here to help other people that may have been in the same position as me with not being able to pass the ASVAB. I mean, you know, like, you know, having to take it multiple times and maybe be discouraged. Like, you know, the message is to not give up. Like, keep pushing it. I mean, like, if this is something you want for your life, you got to keep pushing. Like, you can't just give up because, you know, like, it's not that you're not smart. Like, it's not that you can't do it. You know, you just got to buckle down and study more. And, you know, like, I'm a real smart guy. Like, I always average like a 3.5 GPA up in school. Like, you know what I mean? But when I went and took the ASVAB, got a 17 and 26. So, you know, and then the stuff on the ASVAB, it's not even hard. Like, it's stuff I've seen before. Like, working with PennDOS, working with foil, you know, like working with like, you know, cubic, like, you know, working with area, like perimeter, like all that stuff I seen before in the math section. So it wasn't like I didn't see it before, I just forgot the formula. And, you know, with math, if you forget the formula, then you really have nothing. So you can't find the product. So that's what it was for me. So, like I said, I was on another 30 days. Like, the recruiters really working with me, like the Army. Like, they did an excellent job. Like, you know, Sergeant House, shout out to him once again. He was contacting like every other day, was like, man, you studying? You know, you still studying your math? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're going to get you past this ASVAB. Then he was like, you coming in, like, the next few days, I'm going to set you up on a practice test. You know, we're going to work with you to get past this. You know, like, I was working with him. Like, I have that ambition, that motivation. It wasn't like I was, like, discouraged. Like, man, no, I'm not going to take it the next 30 days, you know. But with me, I was like, yeah, like, we're going to do it. So he was like, this is what we have you scheduled as. Like, you pass your medical, you pass your MEPS medical. Like, you got clear for, you got clear for everything. So the only thing I had to do now was just pass the ASVAB because I passed my medical, passed everything else. Like, had no trouble with the law, nothing. The only thing I had to do was pass the ASVAB. So, you know, I was locked in at that point, man. Like, I was like, man, well, I mean, I'm going to get this done, right? So on November 25th, that's when I just swore into the military. I tested November 24th, swore in November 25th because I stayed in at the hotel after I passed the test, since I didn't have to do medical or anything. I stayed in at the hotel and then took in, swore in the next day. And I'm sorry if I'm all over the pace, but, you know, I'm just trying to give y'all a good video, you know, tell y'all my experience. You know, like can't nobody story, like, you know, can't nobody story be like mine because it's my personal experience. So went and took the test. You know, like I felt way more confident this time. And then after I tell y'all this about the test and the story or whatever, now I'll tell y'all what I used to study. So went up there the 24th of November, a few days ago. It's like the 30th today. I went up there, I was way more confident, man. Was taking practice tests, was scoring really high on the practice test. You know, was doing fairly well for myself. Took the test. Went in there, took the test. I was feeling real confident, like I was saying. Like it was just like, it was like I was knowing, like, like it wasn't really nothing more that I felt like I didn't really know for real. Like with the formula, like I really, you know, really got better with the formulas. You know, really worked on my math. And like I said, I really never had no problem with my parent comprehension or my word knowledge. So I went in there, took the test at the MEP Center. After I came out the testing joint, like, you know how the recruiter pick you up or whatever, and then he gave me a look like, you passed, man. I was like, I passed it. And he was like, yeah, you got a 45. And I was like, man, God is good, man. Like, y'all always keep God first, man, because it's like, if it wasn't for God, then you wouldn't be in this position to be, you know, able to enlist in the military in the first place. So you always keep God first. And, man, like I tell y'all, man, like it may seem like I'm not super excited, but, man, like I am. Like when he told me that you scored a 45, like you passed your Asvab, like I was super excited. And, you know what I mean, went from a 17 to a 26 to a 45. And I was like, God is good, man. So we went and sat in the car. After he checked me out, we went and sat in the car. He told me the jobs that I qualified for. I'm qualified for a good amount of jobs. But then once I got to the hotel, like I was like, let me think about it, you know what I mean? And then once he got back to the recruiting office, he took and called me. He was like, these are the jobs we have available. He was like, then he read off the list of jobs that I had available. And then he was like, I feel like this would be best fit for you. And then he told me what the job was and everything. And then I agreed with him. So my job is ADN, Transportation Management Coordinator. So that's my job. Like everyone told me it's a good job, you know, like I did my research on it. Like, you know, like I always do my research before I even said that, hey, we're gonna go with this job. You know, so he called when I was at the hotel. So we locked in that job. He secured that job for me. I don't want to go into too much because, like I said, like I make more videos for y'all. So I don't want to talk about my hotel experience, something like that. So as y'all know, I took my Asvab November 24th, scored a 45, passed it. You know, just having that ambition, you know, having that motivation, you know, never giving up, just having that strong mindset to know that you can do it. I swore in November 25th. You know, 88 and 4-year contract, active duty. My ship date is June 7th, 2021. This is my senior year of high school. As soon as I graduate, I'll be shipping off like a week later. So I'm really excited for this moment. You know, it's a big opportunity for me as so far as like what I've been wanting for my career, because it's been my career choice since I was in 8th grade. So, like I said, the moral of this story is don't give up. I went from a 17 to a 26 to a 45. And with this Asvab, if you don't pass it, don't feel like you're not smart. Don't feel like that you can't do it, because there's people take the Asvab all the time. That, you know, college students take the Asvab, they get really low scores. Like, you got people that had a 4.0 in school all their life go take the Asvab and don't pass. Like, you would think, like, going into the test, like, it can't be this hard. But it's stuff that you learn, like, in your earlier years of school, like 8th grade, 9th grade, and you're going into this test, you may forget certain things, because at the moment, I'm the type of person, like, I learned something, okay, like, it was for the moment, like, you know what I mean? But that's not how you're supposed to think, because, you know, things like this, like, when you go take, for example, the Asvab, like, you think at the time, okay, like, I just need to learn this to pass the test, which, you know, obviously, you have to pass the test, you have to learn it. So you get good grades in school by passing the test you learn at the time, and then you don't really care, you know, to really remember it. But, you know, for example, this Asvab, like, told me different, because you know, I learned it in 9th grade, and I'm a senior now, and you know, I thought that I would never have to use it again. So I went and took the Asvab, and it was basic stuff, like basic high school knowledge that you learn. Like, you learn in like 9th grade. And It was just like, it just showed that stuff you learned in your early years of high school, you have to remember for times like this. So, and man, like my father, I keep touching my jaw and my ear or whatever, man. Like my joint is numb right now. But I'm gonna be making more videos for y'all, man, so stay tuned. I hope y'all use this video as motivation, as my Asvab experience so far as like my dealings with the recruiter while I joined the Army. Let's say like I gave y'all like a brief reason why I joined the Army, but it's gonna be more in-depth video soon of why I specifically joined the Army. But this video was more focused on you can pass the Asvab. So don't get discouraged. You know, keep pushing. If you're in the same predicament where you have to wait 30 days, you know, just put your foot down, study. Oh, and I forgot to tell y'all what I used to study. Okay, when I failed the first time, when I got a 17, I took and used the Asvab for Dummies book. Now, that wasn't really working for me because I'm more of a one-on-one, in-person type of learner. So I took and used the Asvab for Dummies book, went back, got a 26. And then after, man, just dropped his hat in the birds and started flying out. I kid you not. I'm down here at the park. But when I scored a 26, I was like, man, I need some more in-person help. So then I got in contact with my teacher, and her close friend she took in was helping me with my math. She was a math tutor. Took help with my math, man. I tell you, man, my score shot up, and it just worked. So if you're in that same predicament, get somebody. If you have an older brother or sister, if you have somebody who could help you, like tutor you, you know, strictly, you know what I mean, just help you improve in your areas. Like, know what areas you need to improve in so you can improve. Just don't take in, like, if you have a recruiter and you take the practice test and they don't even tell you what you need to improve in, make sure you ask them. Make sure you get some type of guidance on what you need to do, you know? So, yeah, man, keep pushing, man. Don't give up. You know, stay motivated. You know, keep that ambition, and you can do it. So stay tuned for more videos. You know what I mean? Like, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, you know, share this channel. And I'm gonna hit y'all, man. So make sure y'all stay tuned, man. I'm out.